I returned to the building on the anniversary of my first visit. 1 year had passed since I stumbled into the silence between seconds' domain. And in that year I had prepared as best I could. I filled notebooks with every memory I had. Photographs of my life. Recordings of my voice telling my own story. I surrounded myself with people who knew me, who could remind me of who I was when the fog of stolen memories threatened to overwhelm me. But most importantly, I had discovered the truth about the silence between seconds. They weren't demons or ghosts. They were what happened to consciousness when it was forgotten by everyone who ever knew it. Every person who dies without being remembered becomes one of them. And now? They had found a way back through people like me. People who stumbled into their domain. People whose minds were open enough to perceive them but strong enough to survive the encounter. I understood now why they collected consciousness. It wasn't cruelty or hunger. It was desperation. Each preserved mind in their gallery was a life saved from eternal nothingness. They weren't evil. They were the victims of a universe that forgot its dead. And they wanted something I had taken from them without knowing. A piece of their collective memory. A fragment of their existence that had embedded itself in my mind when I escaped. The building looked different now. The vegetation was gone. The rusted door replaced by solid steel. Someone had been maintaining it. Or perhaps something had been maintaining itself. I entered with purpose this time, following the pull in my mind that grew stronger with every step. The corridors hadn't changed. Still shifting and breathing. But I moved with certainty. I knew where I was going. I had always known. The room with the photographs was larger now. The faces more numerous. But the mirror in the center was the same. This time, when I looked into it, I saw myself, not just my reflection, but every version of me that had existed in the past year. The scared explorer, the desperate researcher, the determined survivor, all of them looking back at me from beyond the glass. The silence between seconds welcomed me like an old friend. They didn't need to speak anymore. I understood them completely. They showed me the choice I had to make. I could return the piece of their collective consciousness I had taken and become one with them, preserving my identity forever in their gallery. Or I could keep it, return to my world, and ensure they remained forgotten for another century. But there was a third option. One I had discovered in my research. I could become a bridge. A living connection between their world and ours. Not trapped, not free, but something in between. A keeper of memories, both living and dead. It would mean a life of service to those who had been forgotten. But it would also mean survival. Not just for me, but for the thousands of consciousnesses trapped in the gallery. I made my choice. Not for myself, but for them. For every soul that had been forgotten. Every memory that had faded into nothingness. I chose to remember. To be the one who carries their stories forward. This is my burden now. And my purpose. This is the story that has never been told. And now that you're watching it, you're part of it too. The silence between seconds exists in the spaces between thoughts. And now they exist in your mind as well. Not to collect you, but to be remembered. Every time you think of this story, every time you remember what you've learned here, you keep them alive for one more moment. That is the gift you give, and the curse you carry. I am the keeper now. And this is my collection. Welcome to the gallery.